I got my own style. What up,
Can you
nigga?
describe it to us?
If I was to describe it in a nutshell, I'd say I'm clicking the chrome, click on the dome of the long smith and the snippet your long whiskers. You a rat. I know it's not, but I'm making it your business. Feeding them kids chickens to getting your bitch biscuits. Hey, ain't nothing sicker. Unzipping this prick zipper, he pull out his skeet leaker, get ripped with a meat cleaver. I'm from the slums. I'm known as a young gunner. I'm grown in the gun pumper, so suck on a nice Nina. Your girl is known as a young nothing. I call her a dumb plumber. Stop hugging that pipe cleaner. Slurp, slurp.
Welcome to the night section. Now, Kevin Gates has been on an interesting journey, and we've seen that slowly unravel throughout the years, and it's been an amazing thing to witness, especially as a Kevin Gates fan. Now, you may not necessarily agree with everything he says, but his perspective will definitely make you think twice, and I thought it'd be cool to explore some of those perspectives and investigate what he said to find a deeper meaning, or rather the overall message that perhaps you can apply to your own life. Number one, choose yourself.
You gotta fight for you. And most people don't understand what that means by fight for yourself. It's certain shit you're not even supposed to allow. Cause you got too much respect for yourself to even allow that. And I think a lot of time as people, women and men, we sacrifice ourselves to make shit work. And I don't think it should be that. I think we should choose ourselves first and love ourselves, and we should want each other. If we don't want each other, then shit, hey, what is we doing?
Now, this was a conversation Kevin Gates had with DDG, and for context, in this part of the video, they were talking about relationships, and Kevin essentially says, and this is not verbatim, that he doesn't fear a woman leaving him because what he has to offer as a person intrinsically can't be replicated. He has intangible wealth, as he calls it, and in this clip specifically, he basically talks about having standards for yourself and respecting yourself. In other words, choosing yourself, meaning not letting anyone walk all over you, disrespect you, and this is in all contexts, not just relationships in this case. And I think it's a powerful lesson that we can all learn, and it seems obvious, but it is very hard to do in practice. For example, let's say you get hired at a firm and you've been working your whole life to be a consultant at X company. The salary exceeded your expectations, and now you're the first person in your family to make a six-figure income. It's a dream come true. However, you notice that as you start working there, your superiors in the corporate fashion, passive-aggressively, start to belittle you. You're not valued, and they downright start becoming more disrespectful as time goes on. Now you find yourself in a strange predicament. I mean, this is what you worked and prayed for your whole life, but it's clearly not aligning with your morals, and you recognize that you deserve to be treated better. So now what? Will you compromise your beliefs in exchange for the quote-unquote dream? Or will you choose and put your needs of human dignity first? See how things can quickly get muddy when we talk about real life situations outside of relationships. And even with relationships, we often have a tendency to let our partners disrespect us, and we tolerate things that we would never tolerate from a stranger or even a friend. And the list goes on and on. Number two, what you put out comes back tenfold.
And all people need to be loved. Yeah. And all people need to be respected. And all people need to be treated like people. Ego's out the window. And when you like that, when you live like that, you heard me? You know, it's only right that you get that back tenfold. Because that's what you projected into the universe. Peace, love, happiness. Yeah.
In this clip, Kevin talks about how everyone at the core deserves to be treated with some type of dignity and respect, because essentially we all go through things and we have our own trials and tribulations. This life isn't easy for anyone. So from what I understand, Kevin tries to carry himself that way, projecting onto others positive energy, because as he describes it, it comes back tenfold. And this is a very basic principle. Treat others how you want to be treated, but also what goes around comes around. What you reap is what you sow. In essence, the energy you put out will come back to you. It might come back in a different form, but it will always come back. So if you're kind, the kindness will come back. It may not be in the way that it was originally expressed, but you will get that back in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps it's in the small details, like the bus driver waiting an extra minute for you to catch up so you can make it to that job interview that you were running late for. Or perhaps it's the girl that you like finally giving you the time of day. You put out what you want to receive. However, on the other hand, if you're constantly projecting negative energy, especially onto others, you will most likely have a very hard time in this life. For one, naturally, nobody will want to be around you, but also you block your blessings in that way. Notice that there's a lot of people spreading hate and negativity online, especially targeting celebrities. If those people did further investigation onto themselves, they would realize that they harbor some level of jealousy. Unfortunately, they blindly project that out into the world, and rather than, let's say, they want to become a rapper and focusing on their craft and getting better at it, they spend all their time obsessing over these celebrities that are living out their dreams. And in turn, it becomes this vicious cycle of just wasting a lot of time and energy and wondering why they're so miserable and not getting ahead. Number 3, how you treat yourself reflects on how you treat others.
But when you love somebody as you love yourself, the way you love somebody else is a reflection of how you love yourself. You know, like if you hungry and I cut up some fruit and bring you some fruit, you know, this is what I would eat.
Right.
I look at my body like my temple. Now,
Right.
this is, you know what I'm saying? So the way that you love others is the way that you love yourself, because money isn't always the solution for everything.
In his clip, Kevin talks about the way that you love someone is a reflection of how you love yourself. He gives the example of giving the person he loves fruit because that's what he eats for himself. And I think it's a great example. How you love yourself, or rather how you treat yourself or how you talk to yourself, will in turn reflect how you love, treat, and talk to the people that are most important to your life. If you've been on any self-improvement journey or even just took the time to reflect on life and your relations with others, you come to understand that a lot of the times, or rather 99.9% of the time, people project how they feel about themselves onto others. I'm pretty sure you've been told at some point or another not to take what someone perhaps has said negative about you personally, because hurt people hurt people. If someone takes time out of their day to say something negative towards you, they are telling you exactly how they feel about themselves. This goes on the flip side as well. A happy person, someone who is truly content and happy within themselves, will do right by you because that's the relationship that they have with themselves projected outwards. Number 4, always thirst for knowledge.
No disrespect to people that's in college or whatever, but most individuals that I speak with, I converse with, they use school as a security blanket. My dream has always been to attend a university. I've got all of the things that I've acquired in prison. I've just always had a thirst for knowledge. I've loved to learn. You know, at 16, 31 on the ACT. I don't know too many people doing that at 16.
If you've been following Kevin Gates for a while, you know that he's super keen on education and knowledge. And in this clip, he describes that a lot of people use college and university as a security blanket. And it's true, seeking knowledge and education in a lot of cases is not synonymous with pursuing higher education within these institutions. Truthfully, most people, at least in my experience, pursue college or university to get a better paying job. However, I do find that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that education always means school. And because they don't like or thrive in these education systems, they have a tendency to just X out learning new things and gaining new perspectives entirely, when that's the biggest mistake that you can ever make in your life. Because if you don't learn, how will you ever grow? Self-education is probably the greatest investment that you can make in your life. Like reading books, as Kevin Gates does, speaking to people that live the life that you want to live, learning and reflecting from your own life experiences, learning a skill. Education manifests itself in so many different ways, as long as you have a thirst for it. Number 5, comparison is the thief of joy.
So long story short, because I'm not trying to be excessively talkative, but long story short, I gave it 3 days. I said, I'm going to give it 3 days. And sure enough, like through that course of events, when I disconnect my Instagram and stop making comparisons to my life and other people's highlight film and just start living for me, like really appreciating the good things about myself. When you love what you have all that you need, and just start back just really engaging with myself and the world, and stop comparing my life to what I should have, and be thankful for what I do have. Because when we was walking, we was just happy to have a car. Now we want a Rolls Royce, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how that shit
You know, you was just happy to have a car. Now you just, man, dude, God, I want what dude with homie got. My homie probably can't pay the lease on it. He probably crying when he drive off. He make it look good. But it just, we don't know. We compare ourselves to other people.
And you never know what's going on under the surface.
So, and that's what really had just shook me all the way back. I didn't want to go to.
Now, Kevin Gates in this clip talks about how he deactivated his Instagram because essentially he found himself comparing his life and situation to the highlight reels of other people's on the platform. And I think it's important that someone of his status was actually honest and vulnerable enough to admit that. It shows that even when you have all the cars, money, and fame, at the end of the day, you're still human and still are susceptible to the trap of keeping up with the Joneses, or what we call comparison. Even without social media, it's a natural human phenomenon to compare. I think the major difference now, however, is that you're comparing yourself to millions of strangers on the internet without getting context of their day-to-day lives. It also doesn't help that people are incentivized due to algorithms to post only the glitz and glam. But we know, or at least we should know, that it's not real. A lot of people showing off these cars and homes don't own them or are renting. You yourself, even watching this video, can literally take a picture in front of somebody else's car and say the caption, "The grind don't stop," and become a lifestyle influencer. A lot of this is just marketing, but the overall message and what Kevin found out after deactivating his Instagram is that his own life is beautiful and that you can really appreciate yourself and what you got going on. And the focus should only be you and not other people, because someone will always have it quote unquote better than you when talking superficially. Someone will always have more money, will always have a prettier girlfriend, be taller, be fitter, so why not just focus on what you got and what you can control, and that's all within you. And you will find yourself way more fulfilled and happier in this lifetime. Night section